Good morning, Nigeria. It's Tuesday, the 9th of December, and the headlines are already sparking conversations across the political spectrum. I'm Anudu Akpoyo, and this is Daybreak Live, where issues of power, governance, and accountability take center stage.
All right, then, I'm Samson Balogun. We begin this morning inside the corridors of power and culture. First Lady Remi Tinubu has told Osun State Governor Adeleke to stop singing and give your speech, a remark that has stirred debate, not just about style and substance, but about dignity, leadership, and expectation in public office.
It raises wider questions. Should leaders be judged by presentation or performance? The line between personal expression and public responsibility.
Well, shortly we will bring you the break news, tracking the key political national developments shaping Nigeria today.
Absolutely. And after that, we move to the newspapers. Reading beyond the bold headlines, analyst this morning is Victor Adeleke, a political scientist and public affairs analyst offering context, clarity, and political insight.
And our big story today turns to the industrial space. Deployment or victimization. Engineers reject Dangote's new postings. At stake are labor rights, corporate authority, and questions of fairness within one of Africa's biggest industrial giants.
Joining us is Sam Mwoko, deputy editor of the Nigerian Tribune, bringing perspective on labor relations, power dynamics, and what this standoff could mean for the wider workforce.
So you sit back and enjoy that particular one. We'll wrap things up with a Trend Watch, where the loudest conversations meet the hardest truth of the moment.
It's Tuesday morning. The debates are active and the stakes are real.
And this is Daybreak Live. So
absolutely.
Let's dive straight into the thick of things this morning.
Very well.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Good to be back here to,
yes. So many things to really talk about today.
A lot. You saw the video of the First Lady who was talking to the executive governor of Osun State and then saying, look, if you don't wrap things up in the next few minutes, I'm definitely going to take your speech away from this podium. And then people are saying a lot of things about that. On one hand, people are defending the First Lady, saying, look, probably they were working with time and every one of them will have to return to their separate locations just after the event, and they really want to keep to time. And on the other hand, people are talking about dignity, self-respect. They're talking about the office of the governor and what position does the First Lady hold in the country? Is it constitutional? Does she have that right, the legal right under the Nigerian constitution in terms of what position she holds to talk to the governor that way? And I think on that hand, I want to reason with those people on that angle. I think when you have that kind of situation, I think it is way out of hand. There were several ways she could have actually handled that. Probably slip him a note to tell him, oh, look, you've got just 5 minutes and we are keeping to time. You have to get this done. And also, just by going to him and say, look, we don't have too much time, but then you can just make it as snappy as possible. But one way or the other, people think that it was rude of her to talk to the governor that way. At a point, the governor was destabilized. He was torturing. He couldn't even get himself right. And it was so obvious that he was intimidated one way or the other while being there. I mean, this man is the governor of Osun State. That for me shouldn't have happened. And I think the First Lady should know better. She's been a politician for a long time. She's married to a politician and in fact the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and she knows what respect is accorded to public office holders. That for me was a no-no, shouldn't have happened.
First off, should we first check the video? I'm thinking we should.
Well, maybe we should see the video and see exactly what happened there.
Which kind? Which kind?
video right there. I mean, like, the first thing I would like to say is that if it happened once, we can say it's coincidence. But if it happened twice, that you question how that can be a coincidence. So it's no longer expected to be. Now, in that video that we've just seen, but there are many things to it. There are many sides to it. It could be political, it could be constitutional, it could be ceremonial, but whichever way you want to take it. Maybe just to first speak on what happened at that particular event. It was the coronation, the 10th coronation anniversary of the Oni of Ife Ogunwusi, and it was quite a massive one because she also got awarded, maybe like she got decorated as the Ashiwaju of Oodua land. I mean, that's something to talk about. Like you also mentioned, it could be that she wanted him to just hurry up. Some have said he has a political undertone, but mind you, hey, this is not the first time we are seeing this. In 2010, 2013, the same thing happened when the then First Lady, Patience Jonathan, had to, some said, allegedly snatched the mic from the then Rivers State Governor, Rotimi Amechi, at the time. So when she took the mic, because the governor was trying to speak to the issue of, I think there were demolition chances across some regions in the state. And I think she's from Okrika. I mean, the Patience Patience Jonathan. She's from Okrika. And then she was questioning why the governor was speaking to that issue to say, we must. He was asking the question, why should you say must? To the point that, according to information and all of these things that we gathered, we got to know that the governor left the place and did not respond to her at the time. So this is not the first time. I'm just trying to bring out that perspective. So that's one. The other perspective I would like to bring on the table is that Adeleke was a one-time serving senator in the country, 2017 to 2019. That's
once
2
a
years.
senator, always a senator.
Absolutely. Remi Tinubu was also once a senator. In fact, he served for 12 years, 2011 to 2023, according to what we know. Now, they are both senators. So if we have to check when they served, we can say the governor, Adeleke, met her serving at the Senate.
House,
exactly. So I don't know if there's anything called seniority at the Senate level.
There is.
Okay, so if we come and bring that perspective to light to say that could have been a brother to sister kind of thing, like a Egbon in the Senate House, my senior colleague in the sense. But see, once somebody is the governor, he's been elected into that office and he represents the state. Now, again, Adeleke is the host of that event. That happened in Osun State. The chief host for crying out loud. So he has the power and the prerogative to decide what happens in that meeting. If he wants to sing, I mean, like, everybody knows Adeleke to be a dancing governor, to be a dancing and a very joyful governor.
Even the president, when he came to Ibadan, asked him a question. He don't call and he said, he do wow.
So,
I mean,
that could have been a thing for the governor to say, I don't want to disappoint people who expect me to make them happy, just to ease their stress. That could be one of the things the governor is always about to say, this is what I want to do because people expect me to do, and I want to do this because this is what I like to do as well. Now, the First Lady came the first time and it was not enough. Now, what should we talk about? The protocol, the media assistant, especially to that program. There are many persons that could have done the job and not the First Lady. So now many persons are questioning, well, like you mentioned, what is the duty of the First Lady? What is there any constitutional role of the First Lady? Now I went to check and I saw that the duty, as it were,
it's ceremonial.
It's ceremonial, it's social, and it's advocacy, in a sense that the First Lady can advocate for many things in the country, get the support from government because, of course, the husband is going to support, and whatever they do, it's always about that, and it's never supposed to be constitutional. Now, this begs the question of political. Could this be political? Now, there was an issue that Adeleke won at the Supreme Court, especially about the local government autonomy, how that he was requesting that they should not withhold that the local government, and then should send the local government allocations, and send it to the state governor and all of that, and blah, blah. I think he won recently. So that could have been a conversation as well that Remi Tinubu is quite abreast of, to say you took us to court and then you want. I'm not saying that's exactly the issue. I'm just striking the perspectives that could have, caused this whole issue, this fracas between them. So it could be political. And again, now this is one of the things people are saying. Can this happen to another governor from the north or from another part of the country? This might not happen because she might not even come up to say that kind of thing. But again, it begs also the question of respect for people, especially when they become a political office holder in a sense. You are the wife of the president. No disrespect to you. If you need the program to hurry up, whether or not you have become the newly ceremonial, what's the title now?
Yeah,
Shiwaju. I mean, like, this is not Yeye event here. In the sense that you are not the coordinator of that event to say there is a program, there's a schedule. He knows his time. If he overshoots, there should be protocol officers that should come and do that job, and not the responsibility of the First Lady. Because people now beg to link this up to a political issue, to say maybe there's a political issue amidst them, because we've not seen, especially in recent times, we've not seen the governor Adeleke and Tinubu together. And again, the issue of a defection is also on the table. Some are saying Adeleke would not be so confident to speak up because he's also trying to look for a party. He's doing party, what's it called? Shopping. Yeah. So he's also shopping for parties. So it might not have a way to say, Auntie, sorry, you don't do that here. This is my state, and in a sense, like, this is a coordinated program. You did not coordinate this. You were just one of the people that were invited, and of course we respect you. So stay in your place. Let me do what I want to do. You could tell that when he started singing, some persons were already chanting along.
They knew what he was going to bring to the table.
It's used to that.
That's why I'm saying, look, it's more or less like a disrespect to the people of Osun State. They know they are governor. They know it's always been like that. He sings, he dances, and of course, makes them happy, whether they like it or not. At least, I'm not talking about governance. I'm just talking about his personality, his person. So it makes them happy. People would really want to use him for therapy. They would want to see him do his thing, and they were disenfranchised at that event. Now, I just want to quickly say this. Yes, when he started singing, the First Lady went there the first time. And by the second time, she was not having it. She was more or less like determined that this has to end. Someone has to take control, and you just have to face your speech and then read it and then leave the podium. Now, the point I'm trying to make now is that I think the organizers of the event didn't do too well enough. You see, there is a challenge that really needs to be solved. Governors should be given their respect, regardless of what position you are, even as the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or even the First Lady of America. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that in that state, you are called the respect to the governor. I mean, I don't think she would come to that state without the knowledge of the governor. In fact, it's protocol. When an high-profile guest is coming to a state, you call the governor. Oh, look, I'm coming to your state. It provides you security. It provides you probably, somewhere to stay, and makes sure that your life and property is safe while you are in that state. So he has to be in the know. So when all that has been done, the Oni of Ife was on seat, and the Sultan of Sokoto, ambassadors from Portugal, from Belgium, they were seated. I mean, that should be enough reason to accord him with the respect. No, are you saying now that he has been ridiculed right in front of everyone, you think people will now accord him that kind of respect? I don't think so. Unfortunately, the governor is going through a dark phase in his political career. Right now, he has left the PDP. He's still battling with, what political party am I moving to? What structure do we have in place? Am I going to win the next election? And on top of all of that, you have to disgrace him at an event of such a magnitude. That, for me, shouldn't happen. But then, if you look at the current state of the country, you would want to say, oh, probably the First Lady tried to save him one way or the other. Sometimes when you are in that kind of situation and you talk too much, you might have an issue. There are things you say that you might not be able to retract. There are things you say that you might not be able to correct, even with your actions. So, one way or the other, if he said too much there, a lot could happen.
I think that's exactly one of the points I tried to just allude to briefly. And that's the point that if it was true that he had won at the Supreme Court, especially recently, the song is singing.
In fact, the judgment really has to do with both parties. Now, what he's saying is local government autonomy in Osun State has come to stay. I think that is how they are going to fight it out in other states too, including Oyo, maybe Zamfara, and any other place. So what now means, what the court's judgment says is that allocations will now go to the reinstated local government chairman. When Adeleke came on board, he sacked the APC local government chairman in Met. He conducted another election, and then there has been back and forth as regards, who are the real local government chairmen. At the point they went to more or less like they were fighting over a garage. They had to fight. Some people lost their lives, but then the court judgment has set this aside. Look, these are the people who are recognized as local government chairmen. The allocation is coming to them. On one way or the other, the governor lost a little bit of ground in that place. That alone is enough reason for him to have issues issues going to the next election, because as a citizen governor, one of the tools you can use, all politics are local. One of the tools you would use to win an election will have to be at the local government level. Yeah. That is not available to him. It's a resource that is not available to him at this time. And he's busy looking for ways to convince the people that, yes, I'm still the same Adeleke that you trusted with your votes in the last election. And I think I can do it again at this time. But this is way beyond, that statement was crystal clear when the First Lady wanted to take the paper. And say, I'm going to clear your table now, and then there will be nothing less for you to say. It's more or less like a period where the First Lady had to save him from saying too much. But then another thing is, it's a disrespect.
Yeah.
There are better ways to go
about it. Yeah. So while saving him, you could as well accord him some respect.
Right.
I think that's the conversation, the bigger conversation. But let me extend it a bit. One of the things you mentioned about the local government, if you check the song, the details of the song he was singing, that's why a lot of people are saying that it could be political, that she wasn't having it because she felt, why sing this kind of, what did you win? Why you so, what? That event was not for, it wasn't really a political event. It wasn't a party political event to say, when party politics is being played, we sing all sorts of songs and all that. She was asking the question, is songs really necessary at this time? Go straight to the point. But I'm still standing on the fact that I'm not sure that the responsibility of the president, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to do. If she wanted to pass that, she could have done it in a better way.
There are so many people. On that same stage, they had MCs. I think about two of them. One in English, one in Yoruba. They had the protocol of the governor, who happens to be his media aide, right there, who could have been the easiest way to communicate with the governor. Oh, His Excellency, we have been given just 5 minutes. I think we should move to the next thing on the agenda. And that will be the best way to
The fact that she's standing up again is even begging questions. Why? You are the First Lady, right? You are accorded respect. Sit in your position. You don't have to. If anybody's moving around while a person is giving a speech, it shows a sign of not decorum. Like, should we put it like someone that does not respect or does not accord decorum? To say if a speech is going on, then you're moving about, you're disrupting, because people's eyes and all of that will be distracted. So you're distracting the event, and you are not,
not just an ordinary person. That's the First Lady.
The First Lady of the country.
Automatically your presence catches the attention of so many people. So while walking about, people will say, "Oh, that's the First Lady," and then the attention is divided. But one way or the other, I think it was just an attempt to follow protocol, misinterpreted. Or maybe I just want to choose the right word to use. I think she overdid it.
Yeah, like the approach.
The approach was poor, but she could have actually done it in a better way. There were several ways to talk to the governor, and that one is definitely not it.
I think some people, maybe just last thing now, some people are asking why Adeleke was not, angry about it, because he ought to be exasperated, especially because that would sting his ego. His wife is there, children are there, his subordinates, all of his council chambers, members, and all of those people are also there. So you don't want that to happen.
I think I quite understand why it did not react. You see, it could be that he still has a lot at stake, and reacting at that point could mean that he loses everything and anything on that stage if it escalates beyond that. So for me, it's more or less like a way for him to dodge a bullet, and he did it successfully. Maybe going forward, there are several things that could have actually, even right now, nobody knows what has happened behind closed doors. Probably the First Lady had already called and said, look, whatever happened there, I'm really sorry.
I was going to put you on the spot to ask you, would you advise the First Lady to apologize publicly?
I think that's the best thing to do. That's publicly? The best thing to do. Yes.
A public apology.
You see, the problem we always have in the country is we think, oh, because you are the highest and mighty, the word sorry, as simple as it is, should not come out of your mouth. I think that is totally bad. The best way to get along with everyone and anyone is to learn how to know when you have actually erred, when to say sorry to them and then move on from there. That does not mean that it stings your ego. That does not mean that it makes you look smaller than who you are as a person. It just means that you are the bigger person. As long as you can say sorry and move on. It doesn't reduce you in any way, one bit. So for me, I think if the First Lady can do it, if she probably feels like she can do it, I think the public apology to the governor will suffice. But then, if the governor says, okay, it's no problem, under you know, behind the curtains, and then that would be it. I think this is the fine place to leave this particular one this morning. It is time for us to take weather report on this show, but do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org.ng. All right, do well to drop us a comment on our YouTube and Facebook channel at Dominion Broadcast.